guys, for reading this week, what we're going to start is something kind of new. We are going to be looking at some books, all from the same author, and let me show you what books they are. We will not read all of the books today. I'm just going to read you special little parts of them, and then as the week and next week kind of go forward, you'll get to hear the whole story, okay? But these are the books I have. I have Letting Swift River Go, and they're all by Jane Yolen. The Scarecrows Dance, Owl Moon, and the last one is Picnic with Higgins. Picnic with Higgins. And so today what we're going to look at is just certain parts of the books, and I want you to really, as I'm reading these parts to you, we're going to write them down. We're going to build a graphic organizer together. But I want you to imagine in your head what that would look like, because this author does a really good job with her words to paint a picture. She uses figurative language, she uses vivid verbs, some of these things we have been talking about that we're going to dive more into. So today as I'm reading these, you're going to write it down, and then you're going to have to draw a picture of what you imagine in your head when you hear it. All right, so let's build our graphic organizer first. So what you're going to do, more than one piece of paper here. You're going to need a piece of paper. You can use computer paper, notebook paper, doesn't matter. If you have manila paper, you can use that, whatever you have. And we're going to build a little foldable. Okay, so you're going to fold in your pieces just like that so that they kind of meet in the middle. All right. Then what I want you to do, since there's 4 stories, we're going to make 4 little sections. So I'm going to take this little window here and just cut right to there so that it makes a little door. All right, makes a little door. And I'm going to do the same thing on this one, just cutting to there so that now I can open all 4 of these separately and have little doors, okay? All right. Now, for our first book, and I might have to make 2 videos because it only lets me record 15 minutes. We'll see how far we get. Let's start with Letting Swift River Go. Now, I've marked the page I want to show you guys. All right, right here. Now, what's happening is they're going through this town, and they're going to flood the town so that another town, a bigger town, can have all their water. All right, so they're going to release the water from this dam, from this reservoir, to flood this town. So they're cleaning it all out. They're taking out all the trees. They're going to have to move their homes. And right here, I thought this was great. It says, the governor sent in his woodpeckers, the people to cut down the trees, to clear the scrub and brush, to cut down all the trees, the maples, the elms, the willows and sycamores, and the great spreading oaks. Okay, this is what I could really imagine in my head. They were stacked like drinking straws along the road, then hauled away. So right here, you see all of them stacked up like little drinking straws, the trees. All right, so that's what we're going to write on our first flap. All right. They were stacked like drinking straws along the road. Okay, so I need you to pause the video. You're going to open up your flap right here. All right, and I'm going to draw a little line so I know only to draw right here in this section. Now, you have this whole piece right here. I want you to imagine those trees. They were stacked in a way that they look like drinking straws. And I want you to draw a picture of what you think that looks like in your mind. Okay? That is a great, it's called Imagery, where you can imagine it. All right, so pause it and do that, and then I'm going to read our next one. Okay, our second book, The Scarecrows Dance. All right, I marked this a page here. All right, so it says, an autumn eve, the moon was high, as yellow as a black cat's eye. So they used a simile. She used a simile here to describe the moon and how bright yellow it was. It was just like a black cat's eye. All right, so that's going to be our second book. We're going to write that here. An autumn eve. And guys, this is considered poetry. That's why everything at the beginning is capitalized. I know it looks kind of weird because it's not a sentence, but I'm going to write it how it is. The moon was high, as yellow as a black cat's eye. So, I need you to pause the video once you get that written. You're going to open up this little flap here. And in this space, I want you to draw a picture of the moon where it looks like a black cat's eye. It's as yellow as the black cat's eye. What you imagine that to look like. And draw a picture of it. Okay? Pause it and get your picture drawn. Okay, so our next book this week and into next week that we're going to be looking at is Owl Moon. I love this book. All right. So I've marked something here I thought was great imagery. Okay, right here. We went into the woods. This one right here. The shadows were the blackest things I had ever seen. They stained the white snow. Okay? They stained the white snow. I thought that was interesting. Okay? So we're going to write the shadows were the blackest things I had ever seen. They stained the white snow. Sounds a little bit longer. All right, so after you get that written, I want you to imagine what that would look like to you, and then open up the flap. Draw it in this little section right here. What would those shadows look like in the snow? And when you read that, what does that look like to you? And draw a picture of it. All right, pause this, get that finished, and then we'll work on our last book. All right, so our last book is Picnic with Higgins. And I marked this page. I thought it was a really good picture in my head when I read it. It says, there is a graceful willow, which is a type of tree. There is a graceful willow by the meandering river where they always picnic. So I can imagine this willow, okay, and you can look up a picture of a willow if you want, but they are graceful. They have long limbs. They're flowing just like this picture right here. And by a meandering river. Meandering means it's not moving fast. It's slow and calm, okay? So it's graceful and slow and calm, all right? So draw what you imagine that to look like. So let's write it. There is a graceful willow by the meandering river where they always picnic. All right, and this is your last one. You'll open it up. Draw what you imagine that to look like, and I know the picture's there, but draw what you imagine when you read it, all right? And then when you're finished, on the next page, I'm going to have you make a video for me where you hold this up, and then you show me each one of your pictures so that I can see the pictures that you drew and what these made you think of and imagine when you read them, okay? And that's kind of what we're going to be focusing on, the imagery and the special way that authors write to paint that picture.